So I'm gonna react to a video from Stephen Miller, who's a member of the Trump administration, stated that Trump has plenary authority, which means he has absolute authority, no limits to his power, and can do whatever he wants. Which then he started glitching because he seems to know he was not supposed to say that. What is plenary authority, and what are the implications of this? I just explained what plenary authority is. This means that he thinks that Trump is a king and has no limit to his authority. But let's see him saying that himself.
You've called the district judge's ruling blocking the deployment of National Guard in Oregon legal insurrection. Does the administration still plan to abide by that ruling? Well, the administration filed an appeal this morning with the Ninth Circuit. I would note the administration won an identical case in the Ninth Circuit just a few months ago with respect to the federalizing of the California National Guard. Under Title 10 of the U.S. Code, the president has plenary authority.
Yeah, so plenary authority is not something the president has. He's not a king or an emperor, so he doesn't have limited power. Like there is a limit to the president's power, which is also stated in the Constitution, and there have been several amendments to demonstrate a limit from the president power and from the executive branch so that there's checks and balances. In general, Congress is supposed to be the most powerful branch, and then the US Supreme Court, and then the executive branch. That's how it's supposed to be. But obviously, things have changed a bit right now. They're re-pushing the limits. It really fucked up because Stephen Miller was not supposed to say something like that. That the president has unlimited power. That can get Stephen Miller impeached for that statement alone. And he knows that there's still things in power right now that can really get people in trouble. I believe that CNN YouTube channel officially removed this part of it from what some people say in the comments. I just thought it was interesting that Reddit still has it.
Stephen? Hey, Stephen, can you hear me? It seemed, Steve,
Yeah, he's trying to act really stupid because he said something incredibly dumb and dangerous, which demonstrates that Trump administration is really aiming towards having plenary authority, which means or plenary power, but plenary authority specifically means that he has unlimited authority. He can do whatever he wants. He's a king. That's basically what Stephen Miller is saying, and tried to claim the U.S. Constitution gives that to the president, which does not. They have to make an amendment to the Constitution stating that.
and I apologize. It seems like we're having a technical issue. We'll try to fix that and get back to you after a quick break. Stay with Sam.
Yeah, so obviously that was not an issue. He fucked up and he said what he was not supposed to say, and then he tried to stay quiet. So very interesting because now this is on record. So it's something really interesting to hear that coming out of someone from Trump administration um, really pronounced and really important figure. Because remember, Stephen Miller is one of the co-founders of Project 2025. He helped create that whole fucking document, which is a whole fascist and dictatorship takeover of the U.S. to transform the U.S. into a dictatorship and into a fascist state. So that's the whole point of it. So the very fact he said this out loud, which he was not supposed to, saying that the president has plenary authority according to the Constitution or to U.S. code, which is again that's incredibly wrong. The U.S. president does not have plenary authority or absolute power, no limit to any, no branching stop the president. The president can do whatever they want. That's not what the Constitution says. There's no amendment to the Constitution stating that. There's no, at least for now, there's no U.S. Supreme Court decision that has been stated that the president has that power. They do have immunity at this point, at this moment, because of what U.S. Supreme Court has done, but that does not mean they have unlimited power. They're not kings or queens. They're not emperors, empress. That's not their job. So I just thought it was interesting that Stephen Miller said this. Not surprised it was him. By the way, a lot of his family members hate him, and they kind of trying to push him away from the family because he ruined the name, the family, which is Miller, right? So a lot of people don't like him from his own family. He also, if I'm not mistaken, Stephen Miller is also an immigrant. I think he's actually is Jewish or has Jewish heritage. So keep that in mind that this guy is basically found the book of what Nazis did in Germany, aka Adolf Hitler being the leader of the Nazis. And this is a problem. This is something that should wake up people in the US and think there's something wrong with this, regardless if you're a Democrat or Republican or from a third party like the Green Party or Libertarian, uh, whether you're a socialist or not, it shouldn't really matter. This is not left wing, right wing situation. This is a crisis now in this country with the current president is trying to act like he's the king of the US. And he has people in his administration, aka Stephen Miller, stating that the president has that type of power, which is not true. We do not have a parliament. We do not have um, any anything written in the Constitution that makes the president king. We have a U.S. Constitution. The U.S. is a republic with democratic principles. It's been established on secular values, not Christian values. I know a lot of Christian conservatives would say this. That's incorrect. The founding fathers of the United States were not Christian, and in fact, they criticized Christian. They criticize Christians and Christianity a lot, especially the religion itself, Christianity. And the US is based on secular values, not religious or Christian values. That's just a fact. And they made this very obvious many, many times. All the founding fathers made this obvious. Doesn't matter which one it is. They did not see the US as a Christian nation. They saw it as a secular nation, as a republic with democratic values slash principles. So the very fact that Stephen Miller is going against the very foundation of what makes the US, with the constitution that many other countries have been influenced by, with set of laws and amendments to the constitution that have been updated several times, but the last one was the 25th. The 27th amendment. So we need to update it. And in fact, it's being stated by some presidents that we should be updating the constitution, or the founding fathers really should be updating the constitution every 10 or so years. It's supposed to be updated. That's the whole point of amendment, to make sure it's up to date to the current times. Even if the founding fathers may not agree with everything we're doing today, they probably will be very understanding with the current situation. Why? And they won't be so aggressive about destroying it like Trump is, for the most part. As a lot of them were really constitutional absolutes type of individuals. They really want to follow the Constitution to the T. But let me know in the comment section what you think about what Stephen Miller stated. If you agree with his statement that uh, Donald Trump, aka the current U.S. president, have plenary authority, which he does not. But and let me give you, let me explain to me what evidence you have that the president has plenary authority or limitless authority or power in the U.S. And if you disagree with him, let me know why. I'm sure we'll probably agree because obviously I disagree also. So I'm sure that if you disagree, you have good reasons also because the Constitution does not give that power to the president. The arguments are over beyond that. But let me know in the comment section what else you guys think about this and if you're worried about what this means for the US and for the American people living in the US. If you like this video, like and subscribe. Watching the State of House on TikTok and can support us on Patreon. All right, guys, have a good day.